Back in the day, 2007, Doritos came up with an interesting idea. They released a flavor with a code name, and after the people tried them, they could submit their own ideas for names through the Doritos website, and the winning submission would win a year's supply of whatever it ended up being called. I remember when I first saw these, instead of your red orange nacho cheese, or blue if you were Team Cool Ranch, this bag was all black. On the front, in big bold Century Gothic, it read, X-13D. My interest was piqued, and I was down to traverse this new flavor frontier. Destined to discover depths darkened by Doritos' disguising design. I was hoping to remember something funny that happened at the store when I went to get them so I could include it in the story, but nothing did, so we'll skip to when I got back home. I pulled out the bag and it shined like black light. That's the best way I could say that it was glowing, because it was black. It was enticing is what I'm saying. Doritos must have thought this contest would be too hard for those with less reformed palates, so they gave out 2 clues with this new provocative packaging. On the front, the bag read, All American Classic. I remember my first thought was, cheese? Like American cheese? Which, fun fact, is actually cheddar. When I moved to Germany, I was like wanting to make a grilled cheese, and when they asked what kind of cheese I needed, I was like, let me Google it. So, yeah, it's cheddar. And unless you're talking about Kraft singles, that apparently isn't cheese. So, yeah. The second clue said, go to this website. And this part's a bit fuzzy for me. I remember it was like a game, and at the end you had the option to print something. It didn't show what it was, you just had to print it, so could have been anything. But yeah, I hit print, and the printer kicked on, and I began lustily looking at the bag. I wanted to wait and see what came out of the printer, but printers back then, they took forever. And in my head, the chips would be named and discontinued by the time the printer was done, so I grabbed the bag and I gave it my all. And Doritos rained from the heavens. Now was my time. It was the moment I was waiting for. Angels flew that Dorito to me as if to say, here comes the airplane. And that plane was destined to crash, for I was picky. And trying something new was not my bag, baby. But this airplane, it landed so smooth. It ran across my taste bud. It ran across my taste buds like little rumble strips, vibrating my brain with serotonin. To this day, I've not had a better snack food. The amount of flavors in that little chip, I could taste every ingredient. And then it hit me. I know that flavor. It's... Oh, the printer's done. Let's see here. Aha! Just as I thought. On that page was a grill, a charcoal grill. And that means this flavor was none other than... cheeseburger! I snacked hard. I could taste the grilled burger, ketchup, mustard, lettuce even, and that little hint of pickle, that playful little pickle. This is the bomb, I said, because kids said that back then. And I spent the rest of the day munching on X-13Ds and watching Donnie Darko. Good times. A couple weeks later, they were gone, and it was like they never existed. And I had no concept of hoarding because I'd never been betrayed like this. The McRib always comes back, surely this will too. But it never did. So a few years later, there was this number you could text, and it would answer questions. It was like, text your question 44344. Charges may apply. And I had to try it. I had to know what happened to those scrumptious little snackies, because no one I had ever mentioned them to even remembered them existing, so hopefully this magic number would remedy my Mandela effect-like confusion. So I pulled out my Motorola Razr, and I texted it. And so I waited patiently, because back then you had to, and my phone beeped, because back then I didn't use silent mode to ignore the world. And the answer read, 3D Doritos were discontinued and blah blah blah, because Doritos had mentioned a few times they were bringing up blah 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 blah. I was like, what the f***? I texted it right back and I said, no! I said X13D, not 3D. And I waited patiently. Again. And 5 minutes later, my phone beeps. The new answer read, oh, my bad. Yeah, I have no idea. I was charged for that. So, a couple years later, Doritos released 2 new flavors, Tacos at Midnight and All-Nighter Cheeseburger. It's back! It's back! Do the burger dance! Do the burger dance! I was stoked, but afraid because what if they weren't as good or something? But they were. At least they were close enough, and the taco kind was alright. So, I bought them bad boys up and I started hoarding them. And it's a good thing I did because after a while, those disappeared too. I guess cheeseburger's just not a popular flavor. X13D, I never stopped thinking about you. Doritos, if you're watching this, please bring them back. At least for a small amount of time so I can buy them in bulk. Also, Pringles, if you're watching this, your cheeseburger flavored chip was trash. Nice try.